The Middletons are at the heart of our new royal order. This may have been his father's day, but the prominence given to William's in-laws shows that they are now absolutely central to the future well-being of the royal family. Television cameras did not linger long on the invited guests inside Westminster Abbey, eagerly craning their necks to catch every historic moment of the coronation spectacle. Spectators in row 7, however, had the best seats in the house, immediately behind the royal family and next to world leaders. Provided they could navigate the view-blocking plume on Princess Anne's elaborate headwear, they could see all the action. Prominent among them were the Middleton family, the Princess of Wallis' mother Carol, her father Michael, whom his son-in-law William calls Mike, and siblings Pippa and James. Given that they are grandparents of the next king but one, it was understandable that Kate should want both her mother, a former flight attendant who was brought up in a council flat, and her father, a one-time aircraft dispatcher, close at hand. What was surprising was the presence of her brother and sister when pressure of space meant so many more familiar names were absent from the guest list. For example, there was only room for 2 members of the king's maternal grandmother's family, Sir Simon and Lady Caroline Bowes-Lyon, and for just one solitary representative of the Mountbatten clan, a dynasty steeped in royal history, in Countess Mountbatten, who was there without her estranged husband, Norton, a Gordonston school friend of Charles. Admittedly, James and Pippa, who are both married, came solo and, like the king's wider Windsor family members, were not able to bring their spouses. But beyond this very visible picture of dizzying social mobility that the Middletons represent, their presence, more than perhaps anyone else's at Saturday's ceremony, is a very clear sign about the future direction of the monarchy. Charles may be on the throne, but by including William's in-laws and in such a conspicuous position in the Abbey, there was a tacit acknowledgement of the role the Middletons are undoubtedly going to play. So while this was his father's day, it was also the beginning of a new royal order and the extension of what was once referred to by courtiers as the Middleton rules. The King and Camilla will lean heavily on William and Kate in the years ahead. Indeed, it is already possible to look not too much further into the future to see the day when the King and Queen step back from overseas tours, for instance, just as Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip did. This would mean the Prince and Princess taking on those visits to distant Commonwealth countries and far-flung realms, in the way that Charles did when he was Prince of Wales, easing the burden on his parents. When that happens, and in the case of the Queen, who finds international travel grueling, this may be sooner than people realize, it will be Mike and Carol Middleton who are called on to help out by taking care of Prince George and his siblings Charlotte and Louis. They have always been the most involved grandparents from the moment of George's birth in 2013, which, in the early days, was a source of some friction between Charles and William. The then Prince Charles complained that he had seen less of his grandson than he would have wished. Yet now, with his duties as king, Charles is bound to have even fewer moments to enjoy his grandchildren's company.